The testimony envy in Christianity is
oh my God,
wild.
yeah. Absolutely.
Because if you're sitting there and somebody brings up a testimony, they're like, I used to do drugs.
Oh my God.
I used to be balls deep in strippers. Like, that is not, I used to, I killed a man, and I'm still on the run from the law.
I watched a life leave his eyes.
I've painted a
I
drug
melted
stop.
my grandma. Yeah.
I melted my grandma.
Dearly beloved, welcome to the Unblessed Podcast, where we inquire and exposit the mysteries of that ancient text, that good book itself, the Holy Bible. We are not theologians nor historians. We are but armchair philosophers who spent years in seminary or on a church staff and have since departed to make our own way. We invite you now to read, think, and laugh with us as we dive deep into the denominational doctrines of the divine in the Unblessed Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unblessed Podcast. My name is Evan.
And I'm Scott.
And we are two ex-Christian Facebook warriors. Scott, did you ever post about your faith on Facebook hoping that somebody would come along and read it and feel that it was just the thing that they needed?
How did you know my inner thought? That's exactly
Because I did the same thing.
Yeah. Because we had very similar goals with Facebook back in the day.
Because we do a podcast about this exact same thing together.
Yeah. Because I've spilled my guts about how cringy and horrible I was. Facebook was, I saw it as a tool for ministry. So it was not just for personal, and play. It was for work. And God.
I actually went to a breakout session about using social media for evangelism at a conference.
God. And did you get some real gold nuggets there?
No.
What do you learn at something like that? What would you even...
Nothing.
Hey, post a Bible verse every now and then?
Yeah, I think that was... I think that was more geared towards just teaching old people what social media was.
Yeah, I had a feeling it's less about like, here's how to get really good content fast and gain followers, and more like, you log in by clicking on the top right.
Yeah. All right. Who here knows what MySpace is? All right. Who here knows what Facebook is? Has anyone heard about Twitter? Anybody heard about Twitter?
Calculators. Anyone used a calculator before?
Anyone? Yeah. Anybody have one of these phones?
A typing machine.
No.
In your pocket, pretty much.
Maybe grandkids got it for you for your birthday. Also had to show you how to use it.
God, yeah. I feel like I might have been at that conference and I didn't pick that class. I think I remember that being somewhere that I was.
Definitely did.
God. No, I didn't. I wasn't professionally trained like you at the social media.
I was. Now I will be. So to give you a peek behind the curtain, Scott and I will be sharing Facebook posts that we have made in the past.
That's right.
Just to
and
give you an idea.
Boys, there's a lot of them because we had nothing else to do, apparently, in late high school and early college, other than letting everyone else know what we were up to all the time.
Yeah, we'll see who ended up screenshotting more. I think maybe you might have. You might
right off the bat, there's 15, but
15?
12 right now. Yeah, sorry, 12. But I could go.
I had 8. Okay.
Your boy, that's just from the first semester of sophomore year.
I mean, I didn't go that deep, but I didn't understand the assignment.
I was just scrolling through, finding anything that was a Christian post, or I guess let's back up, like what you were saying of why we did this, I think is an important question.
Yes. Why?
What was your need?
You're on the NPR radio hour as we dive into the psyche of people who post about God on Christianity. Scott Moran is with us. Scott, why would you?
Thank you.
Why would you post about Jesus on social media? What was the goal behind that?
Yeah, thank you for having me today. Really appreciate it. First time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the Wet Williams show.
I was over at Dry Patsy's show earlier, and didn't quite go this deep.
Yeah. Have you been on Moist Michael yet?
I haven't. I've only been. I've been around Dewdrop Devin, but that's it.
Oh, you should get on Moist Michael. He's been
his one arm
on
and one eye thing is kind of distracting, but
it's true. Well, he always was a pirate.
That's right. That's his name's Dewdrop Devin. We're trying every bit today,
why
everyone.
Did
Sorry.
we post? Why did we
We're
post?
trying every bit in the box.
Why did we do this?
I think my motivation was, first of all, Facebook was fairly new at this time. We're old timers because I'm looking at posts by 2010. I think I got Facebook in late 2007, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's very similar for me.
So I think I was still
Maybe
in the
2009.
this is exciting, like social media is a budding thing, and so let's get on there and post everything we can about our lives. So part of it was just that, everybody was kind of loving Facebook that was going to college at that time. But as far as from a Christian perspective, I just saw it as like, this is my calling card. Like, this is how I'm going to define myself. And what's beautiful about Facebook is like, you can sort of like create your personality just by making posts. It's not life where you can just like, you have conversations and real friends. You just were like, I can kind of make an image of myself. And the image I wanted to make was that I freaking love God more than anybody else. And that was my goal.
Do you think it was an accurate picture of who you were as a person?
Yeah, I do think it was. I think it was a very candid, and that's what's kind of scary and funny about it, is that these all come from very wholesome places. I, in no way, shape, or form was trying to like dupe people into thinking I was like a good guy and I was living like a double life. I was just truly living as godly as possible, and that included what I posted online. So yeah,
it makes me mad at all these like Christian TikTokers out here who have this easy. We were in the gutters.
That's right. we were the gutter.
We were the gutters.
People fell onto us and slid out.
No one was wanting to read what we posted.
We had big numbers on our posts, like 2 likes, maybe even 4.
2, 3.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, this one has none.
You know what's bad was just your mom or dad liking it. Oh boy. Yeah, hit me with something that you posted. What's something you were trying to tell the world?
Yeah, the thing I love about Casting Crowns is they sing about Jesus like it's common sense. CCFTW. For our Gen Z listeners out there, FTW means for the win.
You really loved Casting Crowns, didn't you?
I did. They just sing about Jesus like it's common sense.
They're just normal guys.
It's a slow fade. When
it's
you
a
give
slow
yourself away.
fade.
I'll praise you in the storm.
Oh man, that song. Some real bangers though.
Yeah, I am struggling to remember literally any other Casting Crowns song.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So
yeah, those two.
Dang. So I feel like a lot of your posts were more like Christian music you were enjoying, and maybe you wanted to give your little take on it. Kind of.
Yeah.
Hey world, I listen to Christian music and it's cool. Is that kind of the vibe?
Yeah. I was just really into whatever music was happening for me, and every now and then I throw in my like solid thought about the world. People need to know
Yeah.
what 17-year-old Evan was thinking.
We did. We all were waiting,
Everybody was
just
like, man,
patiently waiting. We don't
Yeah,
know what to
but
think
he
about
could-
this big issue.
yeah, he has not been driving a car that long, but man,
This guy's wise beyond
this
his
guy
years.
he is wise. Hit me with a Scottism.
Oh, let's see. Okay. September 13th, 2010. So I am fresh in my sophomore year of college. Here I am critiquing other Christians, trying to be the ultimate Christian. The post says, ran into some people holding up signs saying, follow Jesus, deny the church, ... But does Jesus not nourish and cherish the church? And the church not Christ's body in which he's the head? It's more than just people sharing together with God, but an institution with a purpose to help us grow, disciple each other, and reach the lost. So I say, follow Jesus and love what Jesus loves. I feel like I quoted that from a pastor. That feels too well thought out. But I don't know. I was kind of a huge nerd.
I do think I fell asleep a little bit in the middle of you reading that.
I got 4 comments though. I can't pull it up right now, but wow.
Yeah.
People probably saying boo. Shut up.
Shut up. Go away.
Go away.
Oh man.
Hit me with another one, Evan.
Rediscovering Christian Stanfield! ! For all you Stanfield fans, he has a new song out, Say Say.
All
I think
6
his
of you.
voice dropped a few octaves though. No likes. No likes, no comments. No one gave a shit.
To all you Stanfield fans out there, what fans? Oh my God.
None.
Oh, I don't see. I got some pastor quotes in here. Let's see. I just have some real quick hitters. Nothing, that was probably my longest post. Oh, no, actually, here's my second longest post. This is the summer before sophomore year. This is June of 2010. This is just straight out of the journal, I guess.
Okay.
Wants to give thanks to God and only God for what has been given to him. ...
Yeah. Screw you, mom and dad.
Eternal life through Jesus, health, great parents, amazing friends, a house over my head, no worry about food, a bed, a job, this country, and an opportunity to be a witness at Purdue in my education and the ministry laid out before me. Jeez, I was just so long-winded. Just posting paragraphs.
You, man. Scott Moran needed a friend.
The ministry laid out before me. 12 likes.
Nice.
Hit me with another, Evan.
So I've talked about it a little bit before on the show, where I've talked about going to see a band called No Compromise. They were a rap band. Here I am quoting their lyrics.
Oh, Lord.
This is the moment that Evan Johnson gets canceled. Brother, I don't drink, in parentheses, drink. Brother, I don't smoke, in parentheses, smoke. Drunk in the spirit, high in the Holy Ghost. NOCOMPROMISE. You know that's me with a D.
God. How many likes?
Yeah. I've got accomplices. That's 7 likes.
Hey, there we go. That's me. You're really trying to prove that you were a bad boy, but you didn't. You were straight edge.
I just, I wanted people to know I had street cred, I guess.
That's right. Here's a couple quick hitters.
It needs to be remembered that at this point in time, I was maybe 17 years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full prefrontal cortex.
Absolutely.
Fully developed.
You had a perfect outlook on life at that point.
Yeah. I knew everything that I was doing.
Mm-hmm. And everything about everything at that point.
Yeah.
You knew how to shepherd people at that point.
How else would I confidently know to put that on social media if I didn't know? If I didn't know, then I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. I mean, Right? Children are our future.
Yeah, children are our future. I'm dumber than children. Me now, dumber than children.
Well, not just most. Not all.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that hate God, yeah, I'm smarter than them. But
oh my gosh.
Hit it.
August 19th, 2010, I just wrote, tomorrow I leave for my mission trip to West Lafayette, Indiana.
Mission? So, no, hold on. Does that mean that you're, in actuality, were you just moving into the dorms?
No, I already was at Purdue. Like, this is my sophomore year, so I'm going back. Tomorrow I leave for my mission trip to West Lafayette. In parentheses, 2 Timothy 4, 1-5.
This Christmas, a man goes back to a place where he was from, where he went before.
A brave
he's gonna
soul.
Spread God.
Drives 55 minutes north away from his parents' house through a bunch of
To hell.
in a dorm paid by his parents.
In a dorm paid by his parents, and he's gonna he's gonna ask people to come read Bibles with him with root beer.
God had an amazing ministry plan laid out before me, which was putting up posters of root beer in my dorm. God, in his infinite wisdom, separated the sky from the ground.
Scott.
And he saw me in 2010.
Scott.
Print out this shitty poster, put it on your door. You might get 4 people and 3 of them are Catholic.
Root beer is okay. You can use that to lead people to me.
College kids love root beer. That's why it's every college movie has people drinking root beer all the time, and definitely not beer. And trying
Definitely
to
not
find
real
parties
beer.
and girls. No one cares about girls in college. They care about spirituality and
They care about
the Bible.
spirituality and studying, but more about spirituality. And they should care about me a lot more.
Stop looking at girls. Scott. Print out this shitty poster. Do it now. Make 2 copies and put one on the bathroom door.
Yeah. Don't feel bad when just your RA comes.
Which that happened once. I just love that. I was thinking this was such like a grand mission that I was on, and it was just me being a weird dude in West Lafayette. All right. I'm going to hit you with like 3 super quick ones that are like angsty teen Scott.
Nice.
This is all about the same semester ish. Okay, here we go. October 4th, 2010. Jesus Christ equals fulfillment, equals purpose, equals joy, equals glory to God. July 2010. I'm so amazed why God loves me when I fail so much. Romans 5:8. Once again, July 5th, despite all my failures and shortcomings, God still wants to use me. This is something I will never understand.
You know, you weren't there at the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
No, I was there.
I don't know why you're beating yourself up around July 4th.
I know something about July 5th and July 10th. I was real down in the dumps. Speaking of the, our
I can't believe
founding
I didn't
fathers.
sign it.
Here's November 11th, 2010. Thank you, veterans. Your service to keeping this country free is beyond my gratitude. How about that?
It's beyond your gratitude.
Beyond my gratitude.
Can't even give it.
Oh my gosh.
To anybody. This is a long one from Evan.
Oh, let's hear it.
Talent gives you the ability to go. Whether or not you choose to go forward in the race or fall flat on your face is the difference between yourself and the person next to you. It is not a sacrificial ritual I pay to God. It is a real sacrifice. It is my body, my mind, my soul, my heart, my music, my everything. I return everything that has been given to me to capital S, sender.
You thought you absolutely just wiped the floor with that last, didn't you?
Absolutely.
You were like, return to sender.
So for anyone who is maybe didn't catch what happened there, whenever a just regular noun gets capitalized, randomly, like him, capital H, Savior, capital S, Lord, capital L,
Dad.
stuff like that. That's when it's God.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I opted to do at the end of that is capital S, sender.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would have stood up and clapped if you said that in public.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How many likes that one got?
No, I don't know if it got that
0.
many. 6.
Hey, okay. 2.
6 in a
2. One
comment.
was your mom and your mom's bot account.
And then I have, let's hear it for the Jesus freaks of America. 20 exclamation points.
How many likes did that one get?
Let me see. It got 7.
Hey, okay. There's your base right there.
Yeah.
You got 6 or 7.
7 was a good day for Evan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's
7 was
a great
solid.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything better than just one and it being like your dad.
Anything better than none was good.
Or none. Honestly, I'd rather take none than just my mom liking it. And that's it.
Oh, Scott.
Or just my grandma.
Scott needs some encouragement.
No one liked this. I don't really understand it, but I'll like it.
I don't understand it. Is Jesus his friend?
I don't know if my son's crying online all the time, but I'll like this post.
I don't want to like that he's sad.
Oh, well, speaking of
Sad.
sad, I know we're going to talk about some a specific type of kink / fetish in the Christian culture, but I know we have someone else we need to talk about first as our very late icebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah. Gabriel Storm.
Let's talk about this guy. Speaking of
you might not be
influencers.
aware of him, but the man is just the cringiest Christian influencer I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
In a while, I'll say. So he took this bar song and turned it into a church song just by redoing the lyrics, redoing everything, and he's posting about it, everything like that. And it's just the epitome of, Christian appropriation.
It's
right?
so bad. It really
It's so
is.
bad. And he doesn't sound good. His voice is all like this the entire time. And it's really bad. He also did a video where he's like, you know what? Miami needs a baptism revival. And he calls up all his friends and they're like, baptism revival? Bet I'll be there.
Oh God.
Baptism revival? Dude, no doubt I'll be there. Straight
Okay,
it's
I have
just-
to. So, are we old and we just don't understand? Is this how? I have to ask. Is this how we would have been if we were seniors in high school? Whatever. Now, you know what I'm saying? Is this the cringy Christians, or is this a different flavor of Christian?
I
from
think
us?
so. I do think if TikTok and stuff would have been around
Yeah.
when I was in high school, I do think I would have been straight up. I think I would have been leaning more into the theology stuff. A little
Less of
bit.
I'm going to try to be an influencer necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have tried to be in that level of influence. I think we would have tried to get music going and stuff like that, because that was like, and every now and then putting something out there. But really I was focused on music a lot. But I do I mean, it would have been pretty damn commonplace, I think, in our whole Christian circle for stuff like this. I think even our youth pastors would be really heading it up.
Oh, I can't imagine. And that this is more, I could talk more about not Gabe Storm. I don't really care about this guy, but more about there's this whole flavor of Christian influencer, hot boy, whatever you want to call it, that are out there. And it's so alarming.
I mean, but the
Quite
fact,
the opposite.
I do think that it's alarming in the way that it is disarming.
Well, yeah, it just to me, it doesn't feel genuine. Like these people feel kind of snaky to me. Like there's something about like they're taking very like hot trends with TikTok and like it's almost like they know what they're doing. Like they know that it's cringy. I can't tell. I have no idea. What do you think about this Gabe Storm guy? Like with that song, what's the song he's actually covering? It's like that. Somebody get me a double shot of whiskey.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't even know what it is, but he's covering that famous song.
I've stared at his cover so much that I hear that song more than I do the actual original damn song.
Maybe that's the original and the other guy covered it. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
We sound like 95,000-year-old men.
Oh my! But it's
who's that guy? And I'm
confused.
It's weird and I'm confused.
And it'll happen to you.
Who's that guy, the feller online who sings that one song about the thing that he wrote about? Oh,
Grandpa, you need to take your dementia meds more.
I don't know how any of our followers are keeping up with this anymore. If you are still out there and this is enjoyable, please do something. Send us a letter. Throw a brick through my window. Just let us know you're here.
Throw me through his window.
That's right. But like, what do you think about this current, like trend of?
I do think because there's a certain level of like production that needs to go in. That like I think like TikTok and stuff like that makes it a little bit easier to like have the world in the palm of your hand and to be able to make those kind of productions and stuff. But like, I mean, he had to fully produce a version of the song, and then know how to overlay it in TikTok and stuff like that. I do think that's a level that I don't think I would ever have gone to as a kid. I don't think I would ever have or as a college student, I don't think I would ever have the patience to do something like that. I think I would only have that
fine motor skills.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't have the prefrontal cortex to do that. Now, like. In a church, that's a different story. Like and a church staff, as a church staff member, I think that's a different story, and I think that's kind of a little bit of what you're seeing out there. Is you do have these like armchair theologians, out there that are getting on doing like the different trends and stuff like that, and that's pretty easy.
Here's a question for you. Let's say you're a pastor of a church.
Right, Pastor Johnson,
Johnsonville.
Thank you for coming here today.
Church. Yep.
Johnsonville brought church. Johnsonville first brought.
Second brought.
The first broughtist.
Southern Broughtist.
Yeah, or the Southern Broughtist Convention.
That's right. Your pastor, Gabe Storm, starts attending your church. Gabriel Storm, whatever this guy's name is. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like blanking.
Yeah, Gabriel Storm.
Okay, Gabriel Storm starts attending your church, wants to get involved, and wants to be like whatever on staff as like let's say like a creative director, blah blah blah, like social media. He wants to like just produce videos for your church. Do you allow him like to do the content he does, or are you like, Jesus Christ, like that's way too cringy for my church? Absolutely not. Or are you desperate enough to go, you know what, I'm going to take it? I
think I allow him to.
Yeah? You go for it?
I allow him to because it's going to get eyes on my church. Every church except like Joel Osteen's and Kenneth Copeland's are like struggling for members. Like the whole reason the Southern Baptist Convention has the cooperative program is because churches by themselves cannot support one another.
That's true.
Yeah.
Everyone's fighting against each other. No one's like, here, let me help you out. Let's team up. Everyone's like, let's break off and make another church.
Yeah, you got like 60 damn Baptist churches in one fucking city. Like, of course they're going to be like pulling from each other's sheep and pulling out of each other's wallets. Like it's going to be, you're going to have a hard time surviving. And so, ironically, the Southern Baptists came up with communism. in a weird way.
And that's the main topic for today: communism.
Communism. No, but like, we're like they all pull money together, and it gets disseminated out to churches, seminaries, and
Seamen.
mission trips both here and abroad.
Yep.
It wouldn't go to seamen because IVF
airmen.
is sin.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Airmen.
Okay. Yeah. Goes to our the fifth branch is it goes to our armed forces in the air.
Forces in the air. Specifically the airborne troops.
The Air Force. God, do our boys need it.
I won't lie. If I was pastoring the church I was still pastoring at, and that guy approached me, I don't think I could do it. It would be like, I think, because also looking at the comments on those posts, I think the views he's getting are people like you, Evan, who are
Now,
going.
I will say, I sent you
got a
that
lot of
video a while
followers.
ago. I seen that guy video a while ago. Since then, I've seen that video cycle, and the comments
Slowly
are the other
turn.
way. So for listeners who may not be aware, the original comments were stuff like, take this down now, please God. Like, they were like, please don't ever show this to anyone ever again. But now the comments are like, praise God.
Oh my!
What you're doing is the God's work, yada, yada, yada.
But then you're gonna fill up your congregation's gonna get filled up with more like Gabe Storms after that.
Mhm.
You're gonna have
Well,
300
I mean, like,
Gabe
as
Storms
long as they're,
paying
yeah.
tithing.
Look, man, if I can get them in the door with a pizza party, I can feed them steak later.
You better preach, Pastor.
Mm-hmm.
You better preach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Come
right.
for the coffee. Stay for the conversation.
Come for the root beer.
Come for the root beer. Come for the root beer. Stay for the fellowship.
Come for the root beer and try to get out the locked door.
Come for the root beer. Try and jump out the window.
Try to unlock my dorm
Put
door.
suicide locks on this a long time ago.
You can't leave a really tiny dorm room quietly. It's impossible. When there's 5 people in the room, you can't just sneak out. It's impossible.
I gotta go to the
have to
bathroom. Oh,
announce
there's
it.
one right there. I don't go in other people's. Yeah, I got a thing.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. It's so, like, even as a pastor, I would just be like, what is this corny shit? Like, I can't do it. Like, I wouldn't want my church to be associated with like such a corny, like,
Now let me be the first to say, I think I would have realized I made a mistake.
when exactly do you think?
I don't know when he started asking for my job.
Yeah.
Like, but I think as a Christian, I was pretty mission driven in that aspect, pretty strategy driven, I should say, in that aspect of like, all right, what gets people around? What gets people in the door? How can, like, is there any other way we can reach people other than knocking on someone's door? Because dear God, I would never want to do that.
The amount of doors I had to knock on. Oh my Lord. The amount of doors. I think I would have rather knocked on 1,000 more doors than have him post a video. But I am with you that churches are desperate to get members. So seeing some guy that's like, oh dang, he's got like 100 and whatever thousand followers. Maybe his videos do suck, but maybe. See, I think my strategy would have been like, I bet I can make this a little cooler. I bet I can make this a little like less cringy, but it wouldn't have worked because the guy is clearly just going down 100%, volume up to 10, Christian influencer. It's too much. Gabriel Storm,
everybody.
how about that?
And today we're talking about persecution.
Yeah, here we go. 34 minutes in. Main topic.
34 minutes in. Let's go. Specifically, the concept of persecution fetish.
Ooh, yeah.
So this is kind of a term that gets a little bit tossed around where it is, I'm being persecuted against my religious beliefs, and it's something very small. Big example right now is Harrison Butker.
Oh my Lord. Oh, I cannot. Gonna get me riled up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you riled up now. I'm just gonna let's rev that engine.
Jeez. Yeah.
So anytime anyone gets called out for their positions on life or anything like that, specifically Christians will go on this, just leave him alone, let him believe what he believes, yada, yada, yada. And to a certain degree, he's being persecuted for his faith.
Yeah, really. He's getting really, his life is totally altered from all the.
Yeah, his life is totally altered. He's still going to make like millions of dollars next year.
Yeah, boo-hoo.
This coming fall.
Yeah, Christians love persecution, and I was in this boat for a while, like where I thought, the things I was experiencing was like persecution. And then you just realize it's just people disagreeing with you and being incredibly nice and patient and gracious with you. It's like, but I look back and I remember thinking like, oh, like, I don't know, like my school won't let me do a prayer circle out in like the front yard because it's persecution. And I'd feel like, and I would tell people like, it's because the school like doesn't want us to like have our beliefs out. And it's like, no, the school just doesn't want to get sued. And like, they're trying their nicest to like give you options and allow you to have a space. But I had to like somehow make a way to like how this is furthering my mission. And, it's making the road ahead even more, war torn and triumphant to overcome. But
I think I was cued in a lot to like the goings on of the world as a kid, to where I never viewed anything that was happening to me as persecution.
So you were always just like, yeah, no, skin off my back.
I was always like, I think there are like Christians in China that are having a lot worse time than I am. And somebody tried to be like, well, it's like like just because somebody has it worse doesn't mean that you don't have persecution. I'm like, yeah, but I don't think I'm allowed to call it that. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm not, no one's hanging me upside down on a cross. Like that's
yet.
These damn liberals have their way.
Did you read Jesus Freaks by DC Talk? Toby Mac?
No.
Oh, okay. That's where probably a lot of people's persecution fetish was inaugurated, but
yeah. Well, that and like God's Not Dead.
Oh
is
boy.
just like a persecution trilogy.
Persecution porn, really.
Yeah. The God's Not Dead movie is famously just about school institutions rigorously fighting against having any
semblance of Christianity
in a way that has just been rebuffed and refuted time and time again. Like, because they're also those movies are just fucking fiction.
Well, it's just like it's this fantasy, and like what happens is there are like real life moments where Christians are, I won't even say disadvantaged, but like they just don't get their way. Like maybe they want to have a specific Christmas party, or maybe they want to like be able to say a certain thing, and there's not let's say it's always like a larger institution usually that they're fighting against. It's not like my neighbor was being mean. It's always like the school's against us, or like the government's against us, or like my job is against me and they're persecuting me in my job. And I don't know why there's like a fascination with like an us versus them. I mean, I think that's just in general what Christianity tends to create is like a division of like there's good people and there's bad people, and the bad people are trying to stop the good people from doing their thing.
And more often than not nowadays, what the persecution is developing into is it's a persecution of my faith that these people are allowed to do this. It's got nothing to do with me. It's a persecution of my faith that these people are allowed to have an abortion. It's a persecution of my faith that, I got what was the
Even like
we're
prayer in
supposed-
school. It's like we took out
Yeah.
like people were like, we'll make it optional. And people were like, how dare you? Like
how dare you? That
make
is
those kids pray.
No, we don't want teachers leading the prayer. It's just in case. It's like, well, we're all going downhill. Like, just it's fun that I think it's very interesting that it's persecution when the responsibility is now pushed onto the believer and no
Yes.
longer the government to.
Yeah, that's a
For
really good
religion.
point. I think like people have been so used to Christianity being the mainstream religion, which
Mhm.
frankly it still is, but it being like
Will always
broadcast,
be.
like you'll see it on, you would see it on TV. People would be talking about God in a more public format a lot, and that's certainly been going down as church attendance is going down.
And as
I
Lil
think-
Nas X keeps gyrating on Satan.
That Lil NASCAR X or whatever his name is.
Lil Nasty X.
But there's some kind of like you said, is that once the responsibility is like solely on the Christian to just do the thing that they're still allowed to do, it's just not endorsed. Like why that's where it all stopped for me. Cause I never felt like I was owed a certain ritual or practice of my belief. Like I always thought like, if the school turned me down or whatever, someone said no to something, that to me that was fuel. And like I think that's what a lot of Christians get from it, is like they love being told no because it's like it reinforces like, see, the world's against me. And because they said no, now like that means God ordained this even more. So it's almost like when you get told no, it makes people want to do it even more. And like they double down sometimes. But
I remember it was either Ted Cruz or Rick Santorum who coined the phrase mandatory gay marriage, because they were like, I'm against mandatory gay marriage. And everybody came out and they're like, yo, they're not going to make people just gay marry each other. Like that's like not gonna, but that's that level of just like persecution fetish that's out there of like, okay, well, let's give these people the freedom to live the way that they want outside of Judeo-Christian values. All of a sudden that's persecution because no longer is the government setting those Judeo-Christian rules. It's saying, okay, something else can live in this space.
Yep.
And it is, well, I don't want him near my toys.
Yep. That's exactly it. It is. It's so funny that we like in the Constitution, there's the separation, not to turn this into a political podcast, but it's just so funny that that is the founding.
Welcome to the
of our
spin
country.
zone with Scott and Evan.
Just kidding.
We're here.
We got you.
We got you, fuckers.
80 episodes in. It's actually a political podcast, bitch.
Actually, a political podcast. If you've been listening to us to 80 episodes and you haven't, and this comes as a surprise that we think like this, I don't know what you've been doing while you've been listening to the podcast.
Probably not paying attention, but
Yeah.
I
Put
think a lot of
down
people
the
turn this
fucking
on
laundry,
and
you
walk away
ass.
from their phone. People put this on, take their headphones out, and walk away, and they forget. Oh shit!
Just to be nice to us. We'll
Mom.
give them a listen.
Thanks, Grandma. God, I didn't know where I was going, but yeah, persecution fetish to me. I won't lie, like my Christian journey, it was fuel, because anytime there was like you wanted it. That's what Christians want, though. I think that's just the other thing, is that they seek it out. Like, I remember there was times where like I so badly wanted like neat stories to tell people about my faith, because I lived a very normal, safe, wonderful upbringing in the suburbs. Didn't have any
the testimony
issues,
envy in Christianity. Is
oh my God,
wild.
yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're sitting there and somebody brings up a testimony, they're like, "I used to do drugs.
oh my
I used
God.
to be balls deep in strippers. That is not. I used to, I killed a man, and I'm still on the run from the law.
I watched a life leave his eyes.
I've like, I've painted a
I
truck
melted
stop.
my grandma. Yeah.
I melted my grandma.
That's right.
I watched her go from raisin to raisin juice in just a couple of minutes.
I put her in the oven and I zip tied it shut. And I said, Grandma,
Bye-bye.
I'm going to set you on 425 for 55 minutes.
Hail Satan.
And I'm going to flip you halfway through. So crispy on both sides.
No, I'm going to eat you.
You're so damn cute.
So I don't do that no more. Because
I'm a pastor of the church now.
I'm
The children's pastor.
And you're sitting there and you're just like, man, my testimony's pretty boring.
Yeah.
But you don't step back to think like, good for you. Like you weren't in a position to where you were not in a position in your life to where at some point that made sense to do.
Yeah. I had such a boner for that stuff growing up. Like,
Oh yeah.
we'd have special speakers or whatever, like, traveling pastors come in and they'd just be like, same thing, I was at the bottom of the bottle every night, until the Lord, or they'd always have some really cool spiritual story too. They'd be like, I got in an accident and I went to heaven and I talked to Jesus himself. And he told me that I need to turn on my television, channel 5. And it's just like the most like vivid dreams people get. And like, meanwhile, I'm like,
I turned on my television, channel 5, and it was Arthur the Aardvark. And he was talking to his friend Brain. And it was at that point that I realized I was watching animals talk. And only God can make that happen.
he's dead through all of this. That goes.
I turned on channel 5 and I saw 4 little babies in costumes talking to a baby son. And only God can make that happen.
That is unfortunately not very far off from the people that they would just let on the microphone at my church.
I turned on channel 5 and there's a big purple dinosaur with a bunch of kids. And I knew that was a sin against God.
I knew that Jesus Christ was Lord at that moment.
I mean, Jesus Christ was Lord. That moment I saw that purple dinosaur say, I love you. He looked right directly at me through the camera and said, I love you. And I knew that was Jesus talking to me right there.
Yes, I was coming down off a heroin high for 3 days. But I think it was the Holy Spirit talking to me in that moment. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. I craved stuff like that. Like, I so badly wanted, like, and that was honestly, I think, why I was such a weird, angsty teenager for a while. Cause like, I wanted to be bad and have a story, but I also had if you notice from my post, I had such a respect for the law and the authority in the military that like, I could not dare break the law. So I was trying to be like a bad boy for Christ at times. So I was like, I listen to Christian hardcore music and I'm going to go mosh in a pit for Christ. It's like,
now who left this Coke can out here on the middle of the sidewalk?
yeah, sorry, Mom. Ah! Oh my God. Yeah. I just craved that. That's all I wanted.
I'm a bad boy for Christ and I don't drink soda after 10 p.m.
Yeah. No root beer for this guy. I'm not 21 yet.
I'm not 21 yet. I'm not going to drink root beer.
Nice
I have
try,
respect
Satan.
for law and authority.
But
Yeah,
I do think, Christians like
Bad
they just,
to be good.
it feels so good to be good. Have you thought about that?
You ever thought about how like naughty it is to be spiritual?
I'm sure at some point I said something like that. Like it's cool to be godly. Like it's cool. I definitely was
100%
pushing
have
that.
said something on that vein where I'm just like, man, it's so like rebellious to be like Christian.
Be radical for
Like,
God,
Yeah, like this is going against the grain of what our culture wants.
Wear khakis to church, Everyone else wants to wear like stupid skater clothes to church. Respect your fucking parents, okay? Put some pants on.
Respect your fucking parents.
Tyler, put on some pleated pants, you fucking idiot. Respect your
Fucking-
parents.
Fucking douche.
I just snorted. Jesus Christ. That got me. Oh man. What are your like, we got to wrap this up. This is too juicy.
Yeah, we
but,
do.
Like, what
This
is
is
your
great.
final thoughts on just the persecution fetish and in Christian culture?
Just kind of what we were saying, like when it falls, I think it goes in levels. When it falls, when the responsibility now all of a sudden falls on the believer to do what they've said they were going to do, when it's no longer a government sanctioned thing and it falls on the believer to continue that practice, all of a sudden that's not fair, I'm being persecuted.
Yep. Yeah. Which is, such an extreme definition. It's like, we're just not going to endorse this anymore. Oh, okay. So you're against me. You know?
Oh, so
It's
you
like-
hate God?
Yeah. Oh, so you want to kick God out of school? That's what you want to do? Yeah.
Which I don't know if that is a mindset of necessarily Christians or just Americans. It's like in general.
Yeah, we
Because
might be
it's like,
confusing
well,
both.
Yeah. Well, I don't listen to Taylor Swift. So you hate Taylor Swift?
That is
Yeah.
a good point. That's a very American sentiment
So,
nowadays.
Maybe I've completely undone my entire argument here today.
Yep. Yeah, we're both wrong. And that's the beauty of this podcast is we know when to admit we're wrong.
No, I do stand by my argument earlier. No, like when you remove that responsibility, all of a sudden makes the persecution. I think there's also a funny thing also that happens where it's like, okay, we're giving you the space. You have the space here already to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
To partner with schools to provide school lunch. You got the ability. Then no one does it. It's like, all right, well, we got to feed kids somehow, taxing everybody. And it's like, well, now it's persecution all over again.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to, I think a lot of Christians are bored with their testimony in their life. And so anytime there is a semblance of like, oh, I get to join the brotherhood and the sisterhood of like persecuted Christians because Starbucks isn't going to like say Merry Christmas to me, or like because, my teacher at school doesn't like my Jesus shirt and didn't acknowledge it. It's just like, you'll find anything that is not endorsing you as like, oh, they hate me and I'm joining this whole group of like persecuted Christians. And now like I have more favor in whatever God's eyes, I guess. Cause that's how I saw it, was like, if I can be radical in my beliefs and like be, counterculture, like that's what I'm supposed to do as a Christian. So I would just look for any opportunity where I'm like, oh, like, wait, this isn't what like society wants me to do. Well, I'm going to lean into this, and now I'm going to be persecuted about it. So yeah, it's very much it's a stroking contest.
Oh yeah,
at the end of the day. But yeah, persecution. How about that?
Yep. Thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. You can always reach us at unblessedpodcast.com, unblessedpodcast.com, unblessedpodcast.com. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And without further ado, my name is Evan.
And I'm Scott.
And remember that the government hates God.